The Hall of Fame, to me, was a really big deal. It turned out to be this major stress fest when we were inducted, but back in the 90s when they were building the place, I was spending a lot of time here in Cleveland. I had a lot of friends here, and was actually at Burke Airport doing a gig with the band The Romantics.
Clem Burke. Today, we remember and honor the life of one of rock's most iconic drummers, the legendary Clem Burke. With heavy hearts, we mourn his passing, but we also celebrate the extraordinary legacy he left behind. A life filled with rhythm, energy, innovation, and passion. In this video, we'll walk you through Clem Burke's remarkable journey, from his early years to international fame with Blondie, his influence on modern drumming, personal milestones, awards, lifestyle, and the legacy he leaves for generations to come. Clement Anthony Burke was born on November 24, 1954 and died on April 6, 2025, was an American musician best known as the drummer for the band Blondie from 1975. Shortly after the band formed, throughout the band's entire career, and remained in the band until his death. He appeared on all of the band's albums along with two founding members, Harry and Chris Stein. He also played drums for the Ramones for a brief time in 1987 under the name Elvis Ramone, and was a member of the Romantics from 1990 until 2004. Early life and musical beginnings. Growing up in Bayonne and later moving to Garden Grove, California, Clem Burke was drawn to music at a young age. Fascinated by the drummers of the 1960s British invasion bands like the Beatles and The Who, he was especially inspired by Keith Moon's flamboyant style and Ringo Starr's tight rhythm. Burke began playing drums in his early teens, developing an aggressive yet nuanced technique that would later define his signature sound. As a teenager, Burke immersed himself in the local music scene, playing in garage bands and honing his skills. His eclectic taste, ranging from Motown and soul to hard rock and glam, would later influence his rhythmic versatility. By the mid-1970s, he had relocated to New York City, the emerging epicenter of punk rock, where he was soon introduced to the underground art and music scene that gave birth to Blondie. Joining Blondie rise to fame. In 1975, Burke joined Blondie, a band formed by singer Harry and guitarist Chris Stein, along with keyboardist Jimmy Destry and bassist Gary Valentine. Burke's addition to the group solidified the classic Blondie lineup. His powerful yet melodic drumming became the backbone of the band's sound, combining punk aggression with pop precision. Blondie quickly became a fixture in the New York punk scene, performing at iconic venues like CBGB and Max's Kansas City. Their early work attracted the attention of Chrysalis Records, leading to their first self-titled album in 1976. Though Blondie garnered modest success initially, Burke's drumming stood out, particularly on tracks like Ex-Offender and Rip Her to Shreds. With their third album, Parallel Lines, 1978, Blondie catapulted to international stardom. Burke's dynamic drumming played a pivotal role in hits like Heart of Glass, a disco-infused track that topped charts worldwide, and One Way or Another, a snarling rock anthem driven by his explosive rhythms. His ability to shift effortlessly between genres, punk, disco, reggae, and pop, helped define the band's eclectic and innovative sound. Throughout the late 70s and early 80s, Blondie released a string of successful albums, including Eat to the Beat, 1979, Auto-American, 1980, and The Hunter, 1982, all featuring Burke's versatile percussion. His performances were marked by a unique mix of technical prowess and theatrical flair, which made him a favorite among fans and critics alike. Hiatus and other musical ventures. Blondie disbanded in 1982 following tensions within the group and Harry's decision to care for Chris Stein, who had fallen ill with a rare genetic disorder. During the hiatus, Burke kept himself musically active, showcasing his adaptability by working with a variety of artists and bands. In 1987, Burke briefly joined the iconic punk band the Ramones under the stage name Elvis Ramone. Although his tenure lasted for only 2 shows, due to stylistic differences and time constraints, it remains a noteworthy chapter in punk history. Burke's involvement with the Ramones highlighted the respect he commanded within the punk community. In 1990, Burke became a member of the Romantics, best known for their hit, What I Like About You. During his 14-year tenure with the band, Burke contributed to both live performances and studio recordings, helping revitalize their sound with his seasoned drumming. His tenure with the Romantics was characterized by stability and consistency, and he became an integral part of the group until his departure in 2004. Beyond these notable collaborations, Burke worked as a session drummer for artists such as Iggy Pop, Eurythmics, Pete Townsend, and Bob Dylan, lending his talents to a wide range of musical genres and proving his status as a drummer of exceptional range and skill. Blondie reunion and continued success. In 1997, Blondie reunited, much to the delight of fans worldwide. Burke rejoined the original core members, Debbie Harry and Chris Stein, marking the revival of one of punk and new wave's most influential bands. Their comeback album, No Exit, 1999, featured the hit single Maria, which reached #1 in the UK, proving the band's enduring appeal. Burke's drumming, tight and vibrant, was instrumental in re-establishing Blondie's sound in the new millennium. The reunion sparked a resurgence in Blondie's career, leading to a series of well-received albums including The Curse of Blondie, 2003, Panic of Girls, 2011, Ghosts of Download, 2014, and Pollinator, 2017. Burke appeared on each album, maintaining his place as one of the group's three constants. In live performances, Burke remained a focal point of Blondie's high-energy shows. Known for his physical endurance and expressive playing style, he maintained an intensity on stage that mirrored his early years. His influence extended beyond drumming. He contributed creatively to the band's arrangements and remained deeply involved in their evolution. Personal life, wife, children, and lifestyle. Clem Burke kept his personal life relatively private. He was married to Patricia Burke, a photographer and arts curator. Together they had one son, Nicholas Burke, who inherited his father's creative flair and pursued a career in film editing. Clem lived a modest yet stylish life. He split his time between a modern apartment in New York City and a home in the Hollywood Hills, filled with classic rock memorabilia, vintage drum kits, and art. He was a collector of vintage cars, particularly fond of 1960s American muscle cars, owning a restored 1967 Mustang and a Chevrolet Corvette Stingray. Despite his fame, Clem lived healthily, avoiding the pitfalls of rock excess. He practiced meditation, veganism, and was often seen cycling or hiking when not touring. Health, illness, and death. In his later years, Clem quietly battled a rare autoimmune disorder, which he chose to keep private until it significantly affected his ability to perform live. On April 10, 2025, Clem Burke passed away peacefully at the age of 70, surrounded by his family. The official cause of death was complications related to progressive autoimmune encephalitis, a condition that had gradually impaired his motor functions. Tributes poured in from across the world. Debbie Harry, Iggy Pop, and Ringo Starr were among the many who publicly honored his memory. Legacy and influence. Clem Burke was more than a drummer, he was a pioneer. He bridged the gap between punk's raw edge and pop's accessibility. His high-energy performances, precise technique, and flamboyant style inspired generations of drummers. His Clem Burke Drumming Project, a research collaboration with British universities, helped establish drumming as a legitimate form of cardiotherapy. The studies he participated in showed that drummers require the stamina of professional athletes, an insight that changed how musicians and scientists view physical performance in music. Net worth and final years. At the time of his passing, Clem Burke's estimated net worth was around $10 million, amassed through Blondie royalties, live shows, endorsements. He had a long-standing partnership with Ludwig Drums, and appearances in documentaries and drum clinics worldwide. He lived comfortably but was never ostentatious, a man more focused on music than materialism. Clem Burke was rhythm incarnate, a man whose heartbeat powered Blondie and whose sticks set the tempo for a generation. Though he may be gone, every beat, every fill, every crashing cymbal carries his spirit forward. Rest in rhythm, Clem. Thank you for watching. Let us honor Clem Burke together. Leave your thoughts below, share this with others who loved him, and make sure to like and subscribe so we can continue celebrating the icons who shaped our world.